neighbors are getting like a new roof put on, and yeah, I didn't realize how loud it is until this very moment. Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Some really up close, tingly whispers. So yeah, I apologize if you're gonna be hearing this banging next door. Didn't realize this picture frame was in view, but yeah, there's like a picture frame right here. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I have my notes, and I wanted to talk about a case that a subscriber recommended. And I cannot remember their name, and I'm so sorry. I'm sure if I go back I can find it. So it's my bad. I'm so sorry. I will put it below. But a very kind subscriber recommended this case. And I really wanted this video to be really breathy and tingly and up close. So I hope you like it. The sun is starting to go down and it looks beautiful outside. The banging next door, I am so sorry. I have a couple candles burning around me that smell amazing. What is happening today all around me? My cat is scratching the floor for no reason. The neighbors all of a sudden are smashing their house apart. I don't know what's happening. I'm sorry guys, but thank you for being here. So yeah, this is a candle that I made. Look at those beautiful herbs in it. Oh my god. Isn't that beautiful? Hopefully gonna be selling these babies soon, but this is one that I made to try at home and to test out, and oh my god, it's amazing. I love it. My roommates love it too. Just for some ambiance there as the sun goes down. So we are going to talk about Edward Gingrich. Excuse me. Edward Gingrich, who was the first Old Order Amish man in history to be convicted of criminal homicide. On March 1993 in Rockdale. I believe this is Pennsylvania. Why did I not write down? Interesting, but I'm pretty positive that this isn't Pennsylvania. Edward murdered his wife in front of their two children, ages 3 and 4. Now, I wanted to kind of 1720, and settled first in Pennsylvania. About 150,000 Amish live in 22 states and Canada. Old Order Amish, as Edward Gingrich was, is, where women and girls wear modest clothing. They have a cape, apron, and apron, and are fastened with straight pins or snaps. They never cut their hair, which they wear in a bun on the back of their head. Men and boys wear dark suits, black socks and shoes. They do not have mustaches. But they grow beards after they're married. The Amish feel that distinctive clothes encourage humility and separation from the world. Their clothing is how they directly express their faith. The Amish do not use electricity because they interpret linking with electrical wires as a connection to the world. And the Bible tells them that they are not to conform to the world. Old Order Amish in their homes speak Pennsylvania Dutch, which is a dialect of German, or Deutsch. What else should I have a lot of notes. So about the Mennonites and the Amish, which a lot of people get that mixed up. Mennonites are not Amish. Amish are not Mennonites. So Mennonites are often mistaken as Amish. Let me see. Mennonites are not Amish, but often mistaken as such. They are a group of Christians that formed during a Protestant Reformation. Among the differences between the two, the Amish create their own communities isolated from the world, while Mennonites do not. Amish hold to stricter rules: no electricity, horse and buggy, transportation, plain dress. Mennonites do not have these restrictions. Sorry about that, I got my notes all confused. So that's just a little bit about the Amish community. There is also Romspringa, which a lot of people probably know about in regards to the Amish because of, I believe there was a show, like some sort of reality show about Romspringa at one point, and that is where around 14 to 16 or 17 to 21, a youth chooses either to be baptized or to leave the community completely. So this could either happen from 14 to 16 or 17 to 21. Now we're going to go back and talk about Edward. Early on in Edward's life, he was very interested in sciences and technology, and growing up in the Amish way of life. This interest in science and technology was odd and not at all nurtured, and just not okay. It went against everything his family and the community believed. He was an excellent mechanic and built engines and eventually built a modern sawmill. And this put him in contact with some English people and began to work with them and create with them. And it really put him in this weird space. He became the black sheep. He was not, it was not okay. People were not into this. So he was very much an outcast in the community, but the marriage to a kind and faithful Amish woman would land him back in good favor with the community. So by him marrying this lovely, devout Amish woman, they were like, okay, we'll give Edward another chance. He's a little out there, but we'll see. Edward married Katie, but shortly after, he was still deemed, of course, as a rebel and an outcast. He had a lot of depression and mental anguish because of this. He began to hallucinate and reached out for help, which again was against the Amish community. He was diagnosed as a paranoid schizophrenic and given medication. He had spent 2 10-day stints in mental hospitals. Now they all saw. He felt a lot of pressure by the English world, but also a strong curiosity to assimilate into the English community. But he had this very strong obligation to the Amish community, and this led to his mental health deteriorating very rapidly. On March 18th, 1993, he walked into the kitchen where his wife was and began to viciously beat her. When EMTs arrived on the scene, it was absolutely horrific. Katie had been beaten to death, and her skull had been stomped. She was unrecognizable. Edward had cut her open and removed all of her internal organs and placed them in piles beside her body. Gingrich was found guilty of involuntary manslaughter, but deemed mentally ill and served a minimum term because of this mental illness. His Amish community had actually signed a petition that he receive the fullest punishment, which was kind of unprecedented. So he was very, very excommunicated from the community. He had been having trouble with them for so long as it was. So, they had no mercy for him. He was an outcast. He was not allowed. They wanted him gone. He was sentenced to a minimum of 2 years and a maximum of 5 years. He was released on March 19th, 1998, after serving his full sentence with no strings attached. He was just released. Just like that. Now, in January 2011, Edward had been living with his defense attorney, living on his property just outside the local Amish community where he was born and raised and excommunicated from. There, he hung himself in a barn on the property. He left a note in some dust in the barn that said, "Please forgive me." The Amish community that Edward was from has significantly shrank in size, and it is believed that this horrific event and murder led to the destroying of a once bustling and thriving Amish community. Very spooky case, and kind of a short one. I do want to touch base about this case again after I read the book I that I kind of actually almost thought he was still in jail. So thank you to the amazing, lovely subscriber that recommended that. It was definitely like thrilling. I'd never heard of this case before too, which I love. So please send me your requests. Send me cases that are close to home for you. Send me local missing person cases. Send me any recommendation that you would love to hear me whisper and talk to you guys about. I would love to hear from you. I would love it. I would love it. I would love it. You can see the sun starting to go down even more, and for some reason they're still banging away on the roof next door. I swear I did not hear them this loud earlier, and like the sun is almost down and now they're really, really loud. I don't know. But I thank you for listening and for being here. Please, please, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And share this with your friends. And I just really appreciate you guys so much. If you found this video delightful or love the channel, consider looking below in the description box where you can donate or send a witch some tips for some tingles. No pressure ever. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you. Thank you. And don't forget to tell your friends, tell your grandma about the ASMR witch